Live from Paradise Studios in Massapequa, New York, it's Unger the Radar, starring Randy Unger. Brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a 2 to match your attitude. Tonight, Randy will be interviewing filmmaker Darren Bousman of the new horror film St. Agatha. Randy will also be reviewing the new films How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, and Chasing Bullitt, and will be continuing his Academy Award discussion with special guest critics Ericka A, Kaitlynn Crowley, and Comando. And now, here's your host, Randy Unger.
Hey guys, this is Unger the Radar. I'm your host, Randy Unger, and this is a very special night because it is Oscar night, and I am dressed in my best. But before we get into our review segment and our Oscar discussion, I want to just broadcast a very special interview I did the other day with filmmaker Darren Bousman of the new horror film St. Agatha. You probably know him best from, he directed the first, Saw 2, 3, and 4. And Repo Genetic Opera. And yeah, this is just another horror film from him, and it is really good. I really recommend it, and I had a chance to speak with Darren. Here's how that interview went.
Hi, it's Randy Unger, Unger the Radar. How are you today?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Good, I'm good. I don't know if you remember me. I actually interviewed you for Abattoir 2 years ago.
Abattoir, yes, I do.
Okay.
I didn't until she just told me the name of the podcast. I was like, oh, yeah, I've spoken to them before.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for taking the time again.
Sure. Let me warn you. I should have pre-warned you. I have a vicious cough right now, so I apologize in advance.
Okay, we could keep it relatively brief then.
No, you're fine. Just know if I start hacking up a lung, just don't worry.
Okay, that's fine. So let's dive right in. So tell us, how did this project originally come about?
Every story is different on how I get attached to a movie, and this one is a little unique in the way that I had taken a couple of years off making a movie. I was doing these interactive, immersive experiences. The last one was called the Tension Experience, which is a live-action role-playing game, kind of. Imagine like an escape room, but taking place in the real world over the course of months. Okay. It was a very intense production. We had, 75 actors, and it was in the middle of the show, and I got home one night, and there was a script in my bag. I had no idea where it came from or who gave it to me, and it was called St. Agatha. Come to find out that the line producer just snuck it in my bag, knowing that I hate reading scripts. I literally will go out of my way not to read somebody's script.
Okay.
I just don't, and it's a horrible part about me wanting to be a director, and yet I hate reading. So I opened it up, and I read the first 5 or 10 pages, and that's how it started. I came to work the next day, and the line producer was like, "Hey, did you see what I put in your bag?" And I had an idea, and I said, "What if we cast some of the tension people in this world and surround ourselves, like basically carry tension over to the next thing," which I wanted to do. I'm very much a creature of habit. I like working with the same people, and so I kind of started this petition that I wanted to put Sabrina Kern, who plays Mary, as the central lead of St. Agatha. Okay. And then it just kind of started taking on a life of its own, and next thing I knew, a month and a half later, I was in Atlanta making the movie.
Cool. All right. So what is it about horror that fascinates you?
Horror to me is the most real and raw emotion one can feel. And it's like a scar. It scars you every time you watch it, because if you think back, at least for me, and maybe you're different, but I can look back to where I was as a kid and what terrified me. The first time you see Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street, I remember those moments, but I do not remember where I was when I saw Short Circuit or Weekend at Bernie's. So for me, it's something about horror. Yeah, horror to me stays with you a lot longer. When you truly frighten someone or disturb them or scare them, it's something that they remember and they talk about. So I'll give you an example. I saw Irreversible in the theaters. And if you've never seen that film, there's a couple of sequences in it that is so horrific that I remember being shocked. I was in a huge scene on a huge screen, and that's all I talked about for the next 3 weeks. So I talk about these horrible things that I witnessed, and I think to me, that's what horror has the ability to do. Where, again, I see comedies all the time. I love comedies.
Mm-hmm.
I walk out of the theater, and I'm like, oh, that was cute, and then I forget about it.
Right.
I've always gravitated to it because, to me, it's made the biggest lasting impact
Mm-hmm.
for me as a viewer of movies or TV than any other genre has.
Okay. So have you had this fascination with horror pretty much all your life?
When I was a kid, I remember one of my earliest memories was being 7 or 8 years old, putting on haunted houses in the basement of our house. And my dad was really cool, and he'd get me all these props, and I'd set up, like, levitating tombstones and, blood gags. And so, yes, I absolutely was always into that. And one of my earliest memories is my dad and I going to the video store every Friday night. This is back in the day of Blockbuster and all of that,
right.
where we would get to scan the horror aisle and I get to pick a title out. And it was something that was a ritual, and it was something that I look forward to all week. So ever since I was a kid, horror has been kind of ingrained in who I was.
I mean, and it's not unhealthy to expose a child to horror, I don't think. I mean, it teaches them about mortality and, very realistic themes,
It does, and I think that, listen, I have a 4-year-old son, and he's been very much indoctrinated into the horror universe since I've had him. Now, I'm not going around showing him Cannibal Holocaust, but he does, get to watch the scarier side of things, and again, within reason. But I think what's cool about that is he doesn't have fear as a lot of his other friends do. Some of his other friends, you see them getting upset or scared of things, and here he doesn't. He's just kind of like, meh, it's fake. He'll say it's prosthetics. He knows. So I always love that about him.
That's great. It's good to have a son like that. So I'm curious about the film. What were some challenges you guys faced on set?
Well, I mean, I think everything on this movie. It was such a low-budget film done in such a little amount of time that obviously is its own thing. You want 25, 30 days to shoot a movie, and I think on this we had 17 or 18. It wasn't a lot.
Oh, wow.
It was freezing cold, and the convent that we were shooting in had no heat in it, so it was always cold. But I think lack of time. It's always, relative to the time and money, that's always the biggest thing. But also keeping something engaging that literally is in one environment, and everyone wears the same costume. I mean, you look at something like, so you have eye candy. You have insane amounts of eye candy, the flourishes of color, and insane things like that. With this, we couldn't rely on that. That said, I think Joe White, the cinematographer, did a great job keeping it looking interesting consistently.
Right. And being in one house, one set, it almost feels like a staged play. Was that your intention?
It does. A little bit. I wanted to make this more of a drama than I did anything with really horrific elements. And so, and I think that comes across in some of the more extreme emotions or extreme scenes. And part of that as well, it's kind of opposite of what I was doing with the Saw film. So the Saw film was all about the gore and the violence and the gimmicks. This, we didn't show a lot. You did. We chose our moments. Like, there's a scene towards the end of the movie, and I think you know which one I'm talking about, one of the final deaths, that I wanted to go that way. I wanted to go there. But then there are other scenes, like very early on, where the Superior makes somebody eat something. You don't see it at all.
That scene stuck with me, Darren.
Well, and that was it. We wanted to balance it off this time. I wanted the audience to be just uncomfortable because you never knew what we were going to show you and what we weren't going to show you. So that's kind of how that came together.
And now you're saying that the line producer was the writer of the screenplay?
No, Sarah Michaels was one of the original writers. She is the producer. She is one of the producers. The guy who introduced me on Tension Experience, his name is Sir John. He was the line producer of this film. This film had 4 writers on it. The original 3 writers were kind of a team. It was, I'm going to butcher their names, but it's Sean, Andy, I'm not even going to try their last names.
It's okay.
I brought in the rewriter, a guy named Clint Sears, who I've been a fan of for a long time. We actually went to grade school together and middle school together. And he punches up whenever I can hire him to punch up things I'm working on, he does. And we've written and sold a few screenplays together just independently. And all those people that I brought on were all, again, part of the tension experience. So it was like a family moving from one project to another.
Okay. Now, what was it like on set? How was the morale? Was it a good set to good environment to work on?
Well, it was exciting. I'll tell you, it was exciting. Number one, the movie was so quick that it never got into that part of being overly long or boring for the most part. Sabrina, who, as I mentioned to you earlier on, was lead of the tension experience, this was her first movie. So she was giddy and excited and just over the moon, and so she kind of set the tone. And then every time you had another superior step foot on set, the energy just rose because the girls took their cues off of her. So the whole experience was a really great one in that respect. But again, I was stressed out from lack of time of shooting the movie. But it was one of those things that, you don't get to second guess yourself a lot. It's you have one take, move on, one take, move on. So that was the whole kind of approach on this is we have one take on everything and we have to move on.
Okay. Now, what was it like working with Kaitlynn Hennessy? I mean, she was just phenomenal.
She's a legend. I've told the story a ton, and I'm sorry for anyone who's heard it a million times now, but when I first met with her, we had coffee, and the minute she sat down across from me, I felt like the same feeling I had when I met Tobin Bell with Jigsaw. She's icy and cold, and it looks like she's staring into your soul. But she just made me clench up. That's the only way I can describe it. I clenched up. In a good way. She's so sweet, one of the sweetest women you'll ever meet in your life. She was playing a character when we met, and it worked for me. She terrifies me. I'm still scared. I'm lucky that she said yes to do this movie.
Yeah, she was just perfect. She was, I think, my favorite part of the movie.
As well.
What was it like working with the rest of the cast? They're all so great.
Yeah, they're amazing. So Courtney Hamilton, Lindsay Cheyenne, and oh my God, I'm gonna butcher her name, Anna Fearman. All of them were amazing. I've already talked about Sabrina a little bit. And then one thing I really enjoyed about the cast was how subtle they played everything. That scene, the scene that you're talking about where Mother Superior makes someone eat something, again, how subtle she does everything, that character, it felt, what we wanted to do is it feels like a really, really effed up drama because I buy into these actors so much and I buy into their performances so much.
Nice. Do you hope to work with this cast and crew again?
Absolutely. Kaitlynn Hennessy will be in everything I do from this point on. Sarah and Seth, the two film's producers, were fantastic to work with, and I love shooting in Atlanta. It's the first time I've shot in Atlanta. I think that was an awesome place. I've never been there before, but the crew there was amazing. The location was amazing. The city was amazing. So maybe for St. Agatha too. We'll go back there.
I look forward to that one. So, in a nutshell, what do you hope audiences take away from the film?
Well, again, I'm going to spoil a lot, so I encourage you, if you're listening or reading this, stop, go watch the movie. I'm going to spoil it for you. It plays on a different level if you watch it again. The first time you see it, it's a story about a girl going into a convent to deliver a child, and horrible things happen. Right. If you watch it again, you'll realize that's not a real convent. Those are not real nuns. It's a scam. It is a grift. It is a con being taken place on a con woman. I mean, with the first kind of our introduction to Mary is we find out that she herself is a grifter, and she's playing poker and cheating and taking people's money. And now she goes into this convent thinking to pull one over on them, only to have the entire convent try to pull one over on her. Go and look at the production design, which is expertly done by Molly Coffey. Things don't make sense. They don't add up. The costumes don't fit exactly right. The religious iconography in the actual convent is not all Catholic. And so I think there's a lot of really subtle clues throughout the movie that if you watch it again could easily be looked like we made mistakes. But the idea and the hope is that people realize this is not real. This is not a real convent. These are grifters playing.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Well, I'm also curious, how close to reality was this story?
Well, I mean, I always try to base it in some weird, fucked up version. That said, just Google convents and what happened in the, a little earlier than we think it took place. It's 60 or 70 years ago. You read horror stories about women who would go to give birth to children only for their kids to be taken away from them, sold, never to be seen again. There was a horrible story that I read recently. It was forwarded to me about a convent that they dug up the backyard and found hundreds of infant skeletal remains. So, I rereading the articles, basically these nuns thought it as them taking pity and helping the girls out by ending the life of these newborn kids. And it's horrific. So Sarah, who I mentioned, the writer and producer, had some insane stories herself that when she was in Catholic school. So obviously everything's exaggerated, but it doesn't take much to Google this to see that some of what we talk about actually happened.
That's horrific. Oh my gosh. Well, it's refreshing to know that there have been true stories like that have kind of influenced this film. That makes it even creepier.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious. I think I asked you this the last time.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Now would be a perfect time for a last question.
Okay. I think I asked you the last time for Avatar, but who are some of your filmmaker influences?
It changes constantly. And I hope I'm giving you different answers than I did with Avatar. I'm not necessarily filmmaker, but I'm going to tell you movie influences because, again, some of these I only have one movie out that I've seen. But you look at something like The Witch, which came out in 2016, I want to say, that completely fucked with me. It's Suspiria, the new Suspiria. That filmmaker who did Call Me By Your Name, it's just insane. Blew me away. And I'm a huge Suspiria fan, but then watching that, it to me is the type of movie I strive to want to make. My two go-tos that I always say is David Lynch and Jim Jarmusch, only because they kind of they march to the beat of their own drum. They don't give a fuck about mainstream. They do what they want to do. And it's the same way with Terry Gilliam. Brazil is one of my favorite films. He's one of my favorite filmmakers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fisher King is probably one of that in Brazil.
Yeah,
my favorites. Oh,
Brazil is my favorite.
Yeah, so good. Anything coming up? Anything in the pipeline you can talk about?
Yeah, I just finished a movie called The Death of Me. I shot it in Thailand with Maggie Q and Luke Hemsworth. It's a kind of a intense psychological thriller that should be coming out in the next year.
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, Darren, thank you so much again. And if you're ever in Long Island, we'd love to have you stop by the studio for an in-person interview if you're available.
Excellent. Love that, man.
Okay, cool. Darren,
thank you very much, man. Nice talking to you again.
Unger the Radar is brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a 2 to match your attitude. Patent pending interchange genuine gemstone and crystal EMF protection jewelry. For more information, please visit magnitudejewelry.com/gemgirl or call 718-268-6634.
Hey guys, welcome back to Unger the Radar. I'm your host Randy Unger, and that was my interview segment with Darren Lynn Bousman, a very talented filmmaker known for his many horror films. And right now I've got my panel of wonderful guest critics. We've got Ericka A, hello.
Glad to be back.
Yeah, for sure. And Nick Comando, welcome back. Also dressed in your best, I see.
Yes, I look presentable today.
Yes, and all of our viewers appreciate that. So guys, how have you been? It's been, what was that time? The holiday show, right?
Believe so.
For both of you guys. How are things going?
I'm still alive.
You're still here, thankfully. Knock on wood.
Okay.
And yeah. So
Let's jump into the first movie.
shall we? Are you sure?
Not sure exactly.
I
but
know.
Let's get it over with.
You guys
Rip
aren't.
off the Band-Aid.
You guys aren't fans of this one. All right. So basically, this one is called Chasing Bullitt, and it is the account of actor Steve McQueen trying to search for the famous car 360 GT, I think it is, Mustang, which he drove in the film Bullitt. And basically, he wants to have the actual car in his collection. Some kind of weird, I don't know, some kind of pride or something. Yeah, I mean, Andre Brooks plays Steve McQueen, the iconic leading man from the 60s and 70s. I didn't think it was total crap, but I could be, disagreed with right now.
You usually
Yes,
have
you
a
can.
rosier disposition on these films than we do.
I know, I'm a little lenient on the.
Well, it's time for us to tear it
Oh
apart then.
no! All right, Chasing Bullitt. What did you really think, Eric?
Okay, I felt it was too long.
Too long.
It was too long in a too compact amount of time frame where nothing happened.
Yeah.
It was a lot of the same footage or the same lines being said slightly differently over and over, with no path, no destination.
No impact.
And no spoilers. I did make it to the end of the movie, but they could have just made the movie a half hour and at the end just say, pay it forward.
So this could have been a total short. In
Yes.
your opinion. Okay.
I mean, I understand the significance. The guy was a famous actor who was known for doing his own stunts and his own driving, motorcycles, cars that weren't
See, that would
automatic
have been more interesting to
transmission.
see, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to understand the background a little, but there was no explanation on that, and then it just kept going about driving around and.
Didn't really go anywhere.
Exactly.
Nowhere
It didn't go
interesting.
Anywhere. There was
Right.
no reason to follow through with it.
Yeah. Nick, what did you think?
It was about an hour and 29 minutes too long. It was hot garbage is what comes to mind when I think of this film.
Not just
What?
regular garbage?
No. First off, do they know how to spell the word bullet?
Well, that was the name
What
of
is-
the movie.
Right, but did they know how to spell it in the 60s?
Probably not.
Did they spell bullet differently and then we changed it somewhere along the lines?
Maybe.
Bullitt.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's
What
more
is-
stylized?
It's like they're trying to take the words bull and it
Yeah.
with an extra T.
And they're missing the S and the H.
Like the Technical Institute, like
Yeah.
ITT Tech.
Okay.
And just shoving them
I
together
didn't
and
get
making them a
that
word that doesn't
reference.
make any sense.
All
Well,
right.
that just came to me.
Okay, I like it. I like it.
Just
No,
wind
I
me up and I
believe
go.
you with that.
Yeah.
But I just don't. I didn't watch the whole film. I will admit that.
Okay.
But I don't understand what I was supposed to get out of the movie.
Interesting.
It was like first he's talking to the movie producer
Yeah.
who took a cab there. He just ditches him. I don't know how he gets out of the field that he's in.
And then he
And
talks to
then
a
he's
girl.
talking to a girl that he shows how to shoot a gun.
Right.
And flirtatiously touches her side.
Yeah.
And then he's like clutching the wrists of his wife and is like, "Tell me about him." Who's him? The character from the Powerpuff Girls?
So you didn't like
What
the
is
back and
going on?
forth? The back and forth
No,
twist?
it also bounced around too much to me.
Yeah.
Like it
Yes.
was like, what? Like it was like the moment they started to develop one plot point,
Yeah.
they were just like, "Nah, we're gonna go over here now."
Okay.
Well, all you missed was they went back to each of those plot
Yeah,
points
like-
just to make you want to grab the screen and shake it and go, I did not care the first time.
The big judging point for me is if I'm looking at my phone during the movie, how much of the movie am I looking at my phone
Yeah.
for? I was looking at my phone after about 5 minutes of this movie.
I'm guilty
And I
of doing
watched
that
about
too,
45
yeah,
minutes
for
of it.
sure.
But to me, if I'm watching it and that's what happened,
Kaitlynn
hello,
Crowley.
random person.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm late.
That's okay. Welcome.
okay.
Right in the middle of Chasing Bullitt.
But if I'm,
That was great. That reaction was priceless.
if I'm watching the movie and I'm on my phone for that large of a chunk of it, and I watched about 45 minutes of it, I was probably on my phone for half of that.
Yeah.
I'm not enjoying the movie.
Right.
I just know how my mind works.
I'm guilty of
It's
being
like,
on the phone
this
too.
is
yeah.
no good. I'm going to go back onto my phone because I really am hating this, but I don't want to let Randy down.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was
But
actually
why
a
is
few
Randy
lines of
doing
that
this to
today.
me?
It wasn't torture. Like it
F
wasn't
Randy.
intended
Yes,
torture.
When I'm sitting in urgent care, I work in a medical office. When I'm sitting in urgent care, hoping patients
You needed
come
urgent
in,
care.
No.
and I'm watching this movie, and like the door opens, I'm like, oh my god, really? Oh,
No.
damn it! It's just the guys fixing the
You
alarm.
needed urgent care while you were watching this movie.
It
You were
was-
calling
it
Red alert.
You were asking one of the doctors,
Yeah.
please give me a lobotomy so I can register this movie.
No, well, on a serious note, it wasn't my taste. I mean,
Yeah.
it was very slow to me. It was just not. It did like you said, it did not grab
But
me.
at least the actor Andre Brooks looked
She
like
did,
him.
he
did.
did
But
look a
that's
lot like
really
Steve
it.
McQueen,
He
but
looked the part.
that's like I don't really.
Yeah.
You look like Steve McQueen, hoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
And I guess
You
the
know,
hair
like
looked
Steve
right
McQueen.
to the time period.
Well, like supposedly I read a review where the reviewer was like he does portray Steve McQueen pretty well, but I wouldn't know because I never watched any of Steve McQueen's movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Erica, are you a Steve McQueen fan?
No, but I'm familiar with him.
Okay.
When you told me, I was like, who is he? And then I looked and I was like, oh, I remember the original Magnificent Seven.
Right.
And I
Great
remember,
Escape.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was about to say, and the thing where he escaped something.
Right.
Hi, I'm Nick, and I'm a movie critic who's seen no movies.
Yeah.
That's basically my
We know.
gimmick here.
But it's okay. We're here to educate.
It just was not a well put together. It's like one of those movies that like you put together with your friends and you think you're being all art house.
Yeah.
And then you watch it and you're like, wow, we're really dumb.
Wow, we thought this was cool at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it has potential. It just needed a better screenplay, a better story.
I think it needed more
And more editing.
Needed name
Yeah.
actors in it too. Like it just
I
felt
thought they were
like
okay. They
The
weren't-
acting was okay for
Yeah,
me.
I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
just
don't
the concept of the movie, like you said. Like I kept going to my phone, looking at the door, kind of like just very not grabbed into it, and that made it much more harder to sit through
Okay.
or to watch.
Are you a Steve McQueen fan no? Okay.
I don't
Not really.
I thought I don't know much about the actor. I mean, I thought this movie would like enlighten me in a way, educate
Okay.
me in some way, but it really didn't.
Just killed brain
But
cells.
this is case in point. You give it so much credit. Like I'm going to learn about Steve McQueen in
Yeah.
this movie, and then we turn it on. And we're like, this is horrid.
Yeah.
I'm learning nothing.
Yeah.
I'm learning how much I don't enjoy this movie.
Skip the movie.
But
Yeah.
the thing that I was going to say, and I don't know if this is a valid criticism because I don't know really a lot about filmmaking, but I feel like they could have done a better job with the storyboard of the film. Like
It was very choppy.
It was choppy.
Yeah.
It bounced
Yeah.
around too much, and I feel like that part of it is in the storyboarding of the film.
No.
I could be completely off base with this criticism.
I mean, no.
But it
I
just
like the
feels
idea
like when they're envisioning
Of
it,
going back and forth. It's a good
like I
idea.
said,
You do it,
That's-
if you do
idea.
it
It looks-
tastefully.
right.
Yeah.
Like,
And you can't do it every single scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The moment something significant
It
starts to
loses
happen.
something.
Because then people
Yeah.
get confused, and you're like, wait, where am I now?
And
Yeah.
it's
You know?
also like, I looked it up on Wikipedia. Apparently, he had some sort of connection to Charles Manson, which was why he had
They
the
like
gun.
flashed
in his
that
thing.
one scene.
And they flashed.
Yeah,
I was like,
I didn't even
was
get
that
that.
Charles Manson?
And
What
then
does he have to do
wasn't
with
there a
this?
cop interrogating him?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
and
was
I didn't know
off.
if that
It
was
was
that a
off.
film. Was he filming a movie and he was being
Was that
interrogated,
really
or did they
happening?
just decide they wanted to be in black and white for a scene?
Yeah.
Like what was happening?
Or
I'll
was
give
this
you
a
that
potential
one.
part of history and time that we
Yeah.
have to put in there,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, there.
Or they like,
you know,
Yeah.
or were they trying to be like, he's Steve McQueen, he big movie star. Let's put movie scene here. Like I don't understand.
And if
Didn't
it
make a
was,
ton
why
of
didn't
sense.
they tell us this is the
Scene.
movie?
Yeah,
Where's the
like,
camera?
yeah.
Where's the lighting? Where's the
It just
something to
bad.
give us a clue? What is going on?
So I guess
it's like one of those stereotypical artsy films that people try to make.
Yeah.
That like I would watch it.
This wasn't even artsy
Sorry, microphone.
or
I
close
watch
to
it,
it.
and I'm just I'm a layman. I don't watch art films, but I'm watching this and I'm like
Yeah.
this is
So
too
I
over
guess
the
it's
top.
safe to say that this is off everyone's radar.
It
Not
was
even a
never
blip.
anywhere near our radar.
Not even a blip on the
Not
radar.
even.
I didn't get
With all due respect, though, Randy, none of the movies you really ever recommend or just have us watch are on my radar personally.
Damn it.
Because I've never heard of them.
I tried.
One
God.
time.
The
You
film-
like
I disagree with
Spider-Verse.
that.
No. The ones that are in theaters,
Yeah.
I'll
Yes.
know of, but the other films you
Yeah.
send us,
Yeah.
they're never anywhere on. Like I don't even know they exist.
We gotta mix it up a little.
Absolutely. I'm not criticizing you for that at all. I'm
Okay.
just saying, in the whole on your radar thing,
Yeah.
it's never there.
Yeah.
But I
not gonna hit-
appreciate that though, because
Yeah.
it's like then we're watching these
Yeah.
movies and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't even know this
Yeah,
movie
don't get me wrong.
existed.
Okay.
I enjoy
you know?
the.
And it's like, all right,
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot. And
Yeah.
I gave it a shot,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
really just-
I
feel-
just go with the synopsis and
Yeah.
I run
Yeah.
with it.
Well, I feel like I just like criticized your process, and I don't
Yeah.
want you to think
That's
I did
okay.
that.
No.
I'm not criticizing it. I
Okay.
enjoy that you have us do that,
Yeah.
but I'm just simply making the observation that,
Okay.
like, we're not watching every, and I thank you for this because my wallet can't handle it.
Yes.
We're not watching movies in theaters for
Yeah.
all three films.
Yeah, there you go.
So.
That makes sense. Okay, moving on. Here's a.
I just killed the mood.
Little more of an entertaining film, I think.
Sure.
And the new How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, and the third installment, Hiccup, and the Night Fury, Toothless are back at it again.
His name is Toothless.
Yes.
Okay, we're just yeah. I was all about this movie.
Nice. I know. That's why you're here now.
I have two things to say.
Yes.
I understand they're Vikings.
Yeah.
Who the bleep names their kid Hiccup?
It's a cute name for like a 14-year-old
No.
kid. I don't know.
Don't have children. Because if you think the name Hiccup's a good idea,
I wouldn't name my own kid.
Good.
But I'm saying it's
second,
kinda
I learned
cute.
nothing about training dragons in this
kinda
film,
cute.
and I am mad about
You
it.
didn't see one.
Yeah, I didn't.
One
I
explains
didn't.
how
You didn't
to-
see the first two.
No, I didn't.
No, you need to see 1 and 2 to understand
Well, I DVR'd.
what this emotional roller coaster happened.
1 is great. 2 is eh.
I liked 2
like
better.
2?
I thought 2 was the best one.
I thought it had great elements to it, but as a whole, it fell
I
flat.
felt that 2 they finally had Hiccup and Toothless finally got the connection of partners instead of like, oh my God, you're a Night Fury, you're gonna kill me, we hate dragons, yada 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 in the first one, and then it's like, oh, we're kind of buds. 2 was more of like, now we understand each other. This 3 was absolutely incredible. It's like, we know this bond will be here for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Or generations to come.
Generations to come.
But with the second one, I think the best part, kind of a spoiler, he meets his mom after never seeing.
Spoiler, everyone knows.
They've seen it. It came out.
I picked up on that.
Okay.
I was watching this one. I was like, oh, the mom is like Aquaman's mom. Got it.
Yes.
Like that's like
really agile too. Like
yeah, she was.
I mean, in 2, she pretty much lived with dragons. You'd have to be in skies. Like, you need to be agile.
She's got that hook thing.
She's
got that hook stick.
That's pretty cool.
Got like the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar skyhook thing going on.
Nice.
But I absolutely adored this movie. I thought it was a great conclusion.
Yeah, this movie was very good.
But is it going to be a conclusion? I mean, the TV series is still on the air, and I wonder what that's going to mean.
It's a TV series. Is he an adult in this now, or is he still a kid?
He's still. It's like the same time period.
But to the main, but like the main
part,
like the other, like the TV series, the second, like the subcategory movies, they're cute, they're cool. But for the main story of Hiccup and Toothless, it was a great conclusion between their bond, and that's what I really liked about this. Like, I'm going to say, Dan thought I was crazy because I was physically in tears bawling in the movie theater. And
Dan Shaggy GB, just so people know. He's been on the show numerous times. Good guy.
And
anyway.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, babe. But
Dan.
I physically was. You have to bring tissues because I was in tears. I was like, this is amazing. And just the fact of how they just.
I love the relationship.
I do have to agree with Kaitlynn.
The relationship between.
It was an emotional movie that just brought so much to it
which brought kids and adults into it. Like the kids enjoyed. Like when I was sitting in the movie, the kids were enjoying it, even though they kind of really didn't know what was going on. I was enjoying it because the story, like people who've seen 1 and 2 know what happens.
What about the scene between Toothless and the Light Fury?
That was
mimicking
incredible.
each other. That was beautiful.
But I think that it was such an amazing love story. No one remembers to think about that. You mentioned that the buddy bromance going on.
Yeah.
It was also this triangle
and
that really made you feel which way is Toothless going to go. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's this amazing love triangle. He's being pulled in 2 directions. You just feel for Toothless. And
I like how both of them are like complete opposites.
Yeah. Yes.
With their love interests. Complete opposites.
But
Toothless is so about her, and Hiccup's like, I think she likes me, kind of. I kind of wanna, it's like, I know she likes it, but like, I'm just kind of, they're complete opposites, and that's what I also like.
Very good story, very good messages in this.
I don't mean to, split hairs on what you said, Ericka, but can a bromance and a romance be a love triangle?
Well, yeah.
Because it's not the same kind of love, though.
Bromance is not romance.
But I'm saying that it's not. But it's like a triangle going around and around.
Yeah.
Which way is he going to go? He's being pulled into an arc.
Okay.
That
it's
more than less his buddy to be happy.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
I'm rephrasing it from the 90-degree angle to.
Yeah.
Why are we at math now?
This was a very
okay.
As somebody who hadn't seen the other two films, I could tell.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you watch the trailers, and if you have half a brain, you can figure it out. But I could tell during this film, I'm like, okay, this is the ending to a trilogy. They're tying the story up.
Yep.
You know, Toothless has got his girl. Hiccup has his girl, whose name is Astrid. I don't know how you name one character Hiccup, and the other ones are like, hey, Astrid. That makes sense.
Well, one parent's educated, one parent's not.
Evidently.
They were Vikings killing dragons at one point. I don't think the education there was,
Well,
you know.
I'm asking, is her parents, who we never meet?
Yeah.
Now, is
In the
this
first movie.
is this the final? Is it is a trilogy?
I hope it
feels
will
like
be.
it. I
They
mean,
did call it a trilogy.
You could.
Yeah.
You could.
Loosely.
I mean, you they always do, like.
Right.
If you watch the ending, there's probably 6 ways they could probably go with
Like
making a
sub-films
4th one.
almost.
Because Toy Story
But-
3 ended things beautifully. Like, I don't know why they're coming
Well,
out with
Toy
a 4.
Story 3 didn't necessarily end things. I don't necessarily look at Toy Story 3 and say, oh, that was definitely tying things up. They got put with another kid.
Right.
You can pretty much springboard off of that and just keep doing it.
Yeah, true.
Because they're with a whole different kid in a whole different setting with different toys and different experiences.
It's just playing the same song, though, just a different singer.
Yeah, but it's different, so money.
Yeah, it is just.
So it's more, we don't want it to go the same way as Shrek, where Shrek gets wrapped up clearly in a 3-part movie,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
suddenly 5 years later, oh, let's make another one because we can, and it was successful.
Yeah.
Well, they made 4 Shreks, and I think they had a TV series too. They definitely had
They
spin-off.
I don't think they ever went to a
Yeah,
TV
but
series,
Toy
but they had
Stories-
a few different little short movies they made, like a
No.
holiday special.
Right, Shrek.
and other things.
Yeah.
Toy Story is better for merchandising and marketing, though. Like, you can do a Toy Story 4 and people won't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
You do a Shrek 4, it's like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Like, Shrek is not Toy Story.
You can't see. Yeah, I can't
Like,
see.
here's
kids
Shrek,
playing
here's
with a
Toy
Shrek doll.
Story. It's a totally different scenario.
But
They're not doing a Shrek world in Kingdom Hearts.
But it really is printing money. Like I agree with that.
No, that's really what it is at this point, especially like you watch How to Train Your Dragon. I mean, now it's just cynical hour, but like you watch it, it's like, oh, marketable Toothless, marketable Light Fury, Hiccup's marketable. The dude with the peg leg and the peg arm is marketable.
Parents, you know what to get your
Every
kid-
different dragon who looks
Oh, yeah.
who doesn't look remotely similar to the other ones. Wherever Jonah Hill plays, that's probably marketable because
Sure.
it's Jonah Hill. You know, like everything in that movie is just, and I don't know if
It's like a
just,
big toy
yeah,
commercial.
it's
really.
like, and I don't know if it's just because like as I get older, I look at it and I'm like, oh, this is why they make these kids movies.
Yeah.
But that's what it looks like to me, and then you could just start the whole thing again.
Yeah.
You have a TV show on Netflix that you could effectively do whatever you want with now because, like you said, Kaitlynn, the main story, the overarching story is told.
It's actually on
It's
Universal, I believe.
DreamWorks Universal.
Isn't it? But isn't
Yeah.
it on Netflix?
I don't know.
thought
It
Netflix was
airs-
the one that airs
There
it.
was a few on Netflix. I
There
just
was,
don't
okay.
know.
Yeah.
I know that
one or
from
two.
not out of my
episodes, I'm
mind.
pretty
But
sure
there
go
was-
to a Universal Kids channel. That's
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
maybe
that's
it's
where the
Disney.
series was
Maybe
on,
it's
right?
Disney Channel.
I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe
Disney.
so.
That sounds right.
But
Yeah.
you know, that's like I always liken the TV shows of movies is just like the everyday life of what's going on, and the movie is just like over the course of like weeks or months or whatever. So, but yeah, I felt like a really nice way to tie up the series, and I mean,
make you
I
wanna
might
go
check out the
back.
first 2 now
Yeah.
because I did enjoy the 3rd one, and
Yeah.
you know, it did
You
make
wanna
me
know
feel
how,
things
like-
which I wasn't entirely happy about.
So
Check
here's
them
a
out.
question, though.
Yeah.
Do you think a kid who might have only seen the 3rd one, if they could have followed? I know as an adult.
If I
you
was a
say-
kid and watched this, I'd be scared.
Okay.
I was a very
Yeah,
high-strung
actually-
kid.
And
No,
also, like,
not because it's scary. I was just a high-strung kid who was just afraid of everything, so I would be terrified of the dragons.
But
The Wizard of Oz,
they're
the Witch and the
cute,
Wizard
they're
of Oz
friendly.
scared me.
But
They're
bringing
cute.
back to that, out of the villains, out of all 3 of these movies, this one was actually very
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yes.
Rimmel.
Like
Yeah.
he was just
Well,
You know,
vicious.
you know who
he was
voiced
the first villain that wasn't actually dragon related. He was the human being who
Exactly,
could
which
be
that
terrifying and think.
And he was complex too. He was a very
Yes.
interesting
very
character.
complex, and he was very calculated.
which is
and
always
that's
interesting.
What was very interesting about it.
Well, the other thing interesting about a lot of kids' movies, I feel like a lot of times the kids' movies, most of the time, the villain is actually pretty fleshed out.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And it's like the adult films that you watch, and you're like, Well, that villain's like
No,
you watch
that's
the
Lex
Marvel
Luthor.
movies.
Yeah.
Every villain in the Marvel movies is flimsy as all get out,
That's
except for like
Thanos.
The
3
villain
of
is
them.
usually more interesting than the hero.
And in kids' movies, it's like they flesh out the whole villain. It's like your demographic isn't even going to get this. The kids are like the parents are going to sit there and be like, he represents racism and discrimination, and the kids are like, Mom, I poop. Like, it's
they don't
not.
care. They don't
maybe
care.
they're subliminally trying to teach the children some.
And they
sort
Oh,
of moral
absolutely,
code.
absolutely.
And
Like, because as you get older and you
Yes,
watch
and then
those
you
films,
rewatch it and
you
you'll
put it
think
all
about it.
together. But it's just funny to me because you don't think that they would do that.
Plus, they don't get it that F. Murray Abraham was the voice of Grimmel.
Yeah.
That's
Was he-
pretty
was he
impressive.
That
famous?
was impressive. I
Yeah.
found that out
What
later.
else was
I
he
like,
in?
Whoa.
Because I thought it was Ricardo Montalban. at
He was in
first.
Amadeus. He played Salieri.
Yeah.
You haven't seen that one either.
Nope.
Oh, Best Picture 1984. It's so good.
I think I tried to watch it once.
Really?
Is that on Netflix?
It's about Mozart. No, that's Mozart in the Jungle. That's
That's Amazon.
Yeah. Amadeus came out in '84.
I think it was on
Well, that's
Netflix. I tried to
before
watch
all-
about 10 minutes of it. I didn't get it, and I turned it off.
Was that? Side note. That's a side conversation. But yeah, guys, on the radar or off the radar? I don't think I have
Yeah.
to ask that.
The first two are on the radar for me now because of this
with
one.
this one.
Yeah,
this
he's
is,
back.
This was a great. I love this movie.
Nice.
I loved how, like I said, like like I even said that I was like, wow, he like sitting in the movie theater, he physically scared me. Like I was actually scared of this guy.
Scarier than the villain in the second movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was human, and
Right.
that was what really brought it in. Because it wasn't just a dragon. It wasn't like, oh, whatever, blah blah blah. It shows and portrays how humans with different ideas and different upbringings, different whatever the case, can do to somebody's mind.
Yeah.
And that's what really scared me because he was so dead serious of dragons are
He was a gross
bad, like
human
we
being.
have to kill them all. And when he said like I just destroyed all the night fears, I was like, he's something to be reckoned with because he's terrifying.
Yeah.
If he could destroy almost all these like prestigious night fury dragons, whatever the case, have one slip under his radar, and then he finds out about it later and he's even more pissed. That's scary
Yeah.
because now he's on a double mission to finish what he started, which is not even true.
And he also like poisoned the dragons that he uses.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't
Like,
have
he's
like
a
a bond to
puppeteer
them.
master,
He doesn't
like,
have a connection to them. He's
And
almost like the bad guy from Up with the dogs.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like he
Yeah,
just
kinda
used
looked
the
like him,
dogs
too.
to go search because he was too old to do it.
No, it's just a
And
bitter
this
old
guy
man.
just venom. He literally said he like poisons the dragons. And they listen to him
Yeah.
because
He's like, "This is
they're
why,
drugged up
click."
effectively. Like he was a terror. Like the
He's
first movie was
terrifying.
hot garbage.
Yeah.
This villain was hot garbage
Yeah.
because he was terrible.
Yeah.
It was a terrible human being.
I would love to see like a prequel movie based off of Grimmel.
I would like to see
That'd be
that
cool,
too.
right?
Like
Fun.
what,
That'd be
how
fun.
he got to that point.
Yeah.
Him at Hiccup's age, actually going through his vendetta
Yeah.
for the
and
dragons.
why is he such a prick?
yeah.
Like what
Because-
really happened in your life
Yeah.
to turn and be like, I'm killing everything.
And
Yeah,
how
yeah.
much time did he take learning and studying how to actually
to
make
become
such
that
choices?
calculated.
That's a
He's
movie.
making them, knocking them out. He's making things that can manipulate and control over dragons.
Yeah.
He is a man out of time, which
Does-
sort of bothered me a little.
Well, does Hiccup have like just like a knack for like making stuff?
I think so.
Yeah, he's like an inventor.
That's what the
He's-
first
yeah.
movie
It's
is
almost
about.
like he's
He
an
finds-
anti. I feel like if they did a movie about him, he'd be like an anti-Hiccup, where he has a knack for that stuff, for like
destroying
chemicals
stuff.
and chemistry.
Yeah.
And just like creating stuff, but like everything he makes is bad.
Yeah.
Like everything he makes kills people.
Maybe him as a kid and Stoic as a kid.
Maybe.
That'd be cool.
interesting.
That would be
Yeah,
interesting.
that'd be interesting.
All right, guys. So we got a few minutes left. I just want to talk about the Oscars, which are in about what 1 hour?
Sorry,
Sure.
I'm not
Yes.
dressed.
No, it's okay. It's fine. Come as you are. You look great.
Thank you.
But yeah, guys, just real quick. Who do you want to see win? Who do you think is going to win? Kaitlynn?
I am torn between, honestly, Bradley Cooper
Okay.
and was it Rami
Malek.
Rami
Yes.
Malek.
I think he's going to win.
I think I don't know. I don't know, and that's what like usually I have a bet like I'll lean towards more. I'm feeling Lady Gaga's gonna win. I do
No.
like.
I
or-
think Glenn Close is
It's
going to
kind
win
of-
it.
it should be
Maybe.
Glenn Close's award. She's
I
been
mean-
dominating the category.
Yeah, like what, 7 or 8 times already she's been nominated.
Yeah, but
no
can't,
wins.
can't somebody
But you never
different
know
win
that.
though? Like,
no,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You never
doesn't
know
win
with
that
the
much.
Oscars because it's
She
like,
won
oh,
for
she
Albert
could get
Knobs
that
a few years
award.
ago.
Gaga was terrific.
She was, but I don't know.
Yeah.
With
It's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be very unpredictable. So.
Looking
go
at
either
the
way.
categories, it was I couldn't. Usually, you lean towards one, you lean towards the other. Like, oh, definitely this movie is going to win.
No.
I don't know.
It's tricky, right?
It's going to be an unpredictable show in general because there's not going to be a host to tell us what's going on.
Right, that's a new change
Or
for
make
it.
political jokes.
Right, the first time in like 30-something years, I think.
Yeah.
Interesting. Nick, who do you want to win?
I mean, I think
What
I'd
do you
like to see. Well, I'm always in favor of like different people winning.
Yeah.
You know, Bradley Cooper won for Silver Linings, didn't he?
I think he was nominated.
He's won
nominated.
I believe
He
he's
won
been
for
nominated
something.
For that, and he's been also nominated for the one
American
that he did.
Hustle.
Yes, he was
Yeah.
nominated for that, but he also was nominated for another movie he did with J-Law, with Jennifer Lawrence.
Silver Linings Playbook. That's
no,
Silver
besides
Linings.
that, they also did a second one.
Joy. Was it Joy?
No, it wasn't Joy.
Wasn't
it was
Joy,
something
it was
else.
something else.
He
did that was like the year after Joy.
Okay.
They reunited them
But
together.
did he ever win?
I don't think he's ever won, though.
I think he has. I think if he won for anything, it would have been Silver Linings.
Good movie.
But yeah, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
I like different people winning. I'd be cool with Rami Malek winning. I'd like to see. I mean, I didn't see A Star Is Born, but I think it'd be cool to see somebody like Lady Gaga win because.
Well, I think she's going to win for Shallow, for her song in the film.
Yeah, but I mean, you know.
I think it's ridiculous if you gave. I mean, she was okay in it, but she was not really acting. I felt like she was playing a character that was more like documenting her own life experience.
Yeah, but I mean, that's human.
Yeah.
That to me makes, if I'm watching that and I see that performance, that makes me relate to her more because she's a human being who went through that.
Exactly.
Who went through all that stuff, and she's from New York, so she gets extra points with me.
Yes.
But I'm in favor of like Glenn Close. Glenn Close, I understand, is a legendary actress.
Yeah.
She's
But she
good in
doesn't win
everything
very
she does.
much.
But
She gets
like,
nominated more than
to me,
winning.
it's just like. I like New Blood. I like different people winning.
Well, the
Glenn Close is like.
I saw The Wife. It's a very good movie. She's great in it.
I'm sure it is.
It's not really an Oscar-winning performance, though.
I mean, she's
like
a great
Meryl
actress,
Streep
but
got
I
nominated
agree
for
with that.
Into the Woods a few years
If
ago.
she wins
Like,
tonight, that would be more of like a Lifetime Achievement Award type of.
And
Like,
the
here
other
you
thing
go,
too,
you're
certain
nominated.
actresses.
Yeah.
Pat on the back.
Best
Great.
Actress, Lifetime
Yeah.
Achievement, same thing. Here you go.
And certain actors and actresses are going to get nominated for what they're doing, no matter what they do in it.
Yeah.
Meryl Streep got nominated for Into the Woods.
Yeah.
She played a
Nominated
witch.
for everything.
Like,
Let's not
come
go
on.
there. I have so
like,
much vendetta on that.
I have nothing against Meryl
So
Streep. I did not see Into the Woods, but like when you see something like that, you're like, okay, well, you're just
When you
you're just
played
you.
the witch
Honorable
in the
mention.
Broadway show, I was in that Broadway show. We did that, and I watched that performance. I walked out.
Really?
I walked out of that movie. I couldn't believe how terrible
Wow.
they did it.
I didn't see it.
horrendous.
I have
And then,
no
but-
interest really. That's a Disney.
Something like
something,
that.
yeah.
But who played Cinderella? I forgot her name. She was good.
Anna Kendrick, right?
Yes, she was
okay.
fine. But everything else about that movie.
I just
no.
want to see different people win. I just would like to see New Blood.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm
like
not
Rami
gonna, I'm not
Malek.
gonna
He's
lose.
relatively
Yeah,
young.
but the
I'm
point
not
is
gonna
there's
lose
new
sleep
blood,
if
and then
people
there
that
are
have won before
people
do.
who have been recognized who have worked their way up to the Oscar. I hate
Yeah.
when if one of the award show throws a curveball because they have.
Yeah, but I mean, you also.
But I also agree.
It's
like,
also something where
if you can work yourself up to the Oscar, but if it's not Oscar worthy, then why
But
do you
if,
deserve
why
the
was
award?
an award for? Why were you worthy to win every other award and now be stolen the last award of the night?
Because
but
that's how the Oscars work. I mean, it's not, you can't keep.
They throw, yeah.
They throw curveballs.
It's
Yeah,
one
exactly.
performance to
But the
break
other-
you out to put you in that echelon of an Oscar worthy actress.
Yeah.
I think 4 or 5 years ago nobody would have guessed Lady Gaga had any acting chops
Right.
in her. She goes and does TV with
She
American
was
Horror
made fun
Story.
of
She
for
started
acting.
out as an
Right.
actress.
She started out as an actress.
Right.
She was
Well, no, she
pretty much
started out as
crapped
like a
on her
drag-
whole career.
She kind of like gave up acting for
She
music.
gave up acting.
And now
and
she's
then-
back to it.
She's a
Yeah.
successful singer. She
Yeah.
goes and it just takes one performance to get you over that.
That's true.
You know,
someone
over
to-
that
yeah.
hump. So, like, I can understand what you're saying, like paying your dues, working
But
your
no,
way
I'm
up.
not
But
saying paying your dues. I'm saying being consistent through the award season. That it's not
Okay.
her year. That it's been going between in the early awards. It was going to the woman who was playing the queen in The
Right.
Favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She won,
Olivia
like-
Colman. Good movie, by the way.
She won like twice.
Yeah,
And Glenn
she did.
Close has been mostly winning all the awards, and it would be like, that's what I'm saying. I hope the Oscars continue the trend from the Golden Globes and the Screen Actors Guild this year. I'm
Yeah.
not talking about lifetime. I understand what you're saying, lifetime achievement.
It really is that like a Lifetime
That-
Achievement Award. It's not a Best
You're
Actress
saying
Oscar.
because Glenn Close has won all those other awards, you want to
That
see her
this
win
is
the
gonna be
Oscar
her
because it
year.
just
Continues
it
that.
just fits because she's done everything else.
But
It's
just
like,
like
why is the
Rami
Academy?
But then I
would-
don't agree
right.
with.
But
It would be
Rami
cool to
Malek,
see
like
Gaga
handing her
win
the
it.
award, going, "Oh, here you go." But
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
but I'm
Look
saying,
about,
if
like-
everyone else thinks this was her year, that this was her best performance she's given in the last 20 years, the last 10 years.
30 years.
Yeah.
30 years?
35.
Okay. If this has been the best performance she's given in the last 30 years,
Yeah.
they shouldn't just say, well, Lady Gaga was also good and we're going to rip it from you. You might die next year and this will be how we remember
what if-
you.
Well, I don't
What
think
if-
Glenn
how they-
Close is
I-
that old.
No, she's 72.
Okay.
I see. I get what you're saying though.
That
Now
this
I
is
understand.
her,
your
Yeah,
point.
that
that's-
this is her year. I
yeah.
mean,
That's
the
Academy's
Oscar-
She's
rationale.
won
Any
everything
year.
else. It's like it makes more sense to
that
have her win
Rami
the
Malek,
Oscar
this has
than.
been
No.
his year,
Yeah.
and maybe he'll be a one-time movie actor and he'll go back to TV.
Well,
maybe he'll show.
Rami Malek is a great example of
Yeah.
of just breaking
Of doing
out where
everything.
he
Yeah.
was really good in Mr. Robot all
Yes.
those years, and then he
And
gets
this
the
was
right
his
role, and
breakout
he
role.
looks
exactly.
I didn't see Bohemian Rhapsody.
You
He looks
didn't?
exactly like Freddie
Yes.
Mercury.
He needs to beef up a little bit,
Like,
but the
I-
voice was perfect.
I look at him and I'm
Yeah.
like,
If
how
you-
is that not Freddie Mercury?
If
Yeah.
you put the actual, what is it? It's Wimbledon. Was it Wimbledon?
oh,
the Triple
Live
Crown?
Aid?
No, Live Aid.
Yeah.
If you
Right,
put
Live
Live Aid, real Freddie Mercury, and Rami next to each other, it's almost a spitting image.
Nice.
Like he
Yes.
went. I remember I was reading something. He went through hours of body training.
Yes,
Not
and they
like
did the prosthetics on his teeth also.
not
that's
even the
cool.
well, yeah, but just the body training alone to get the movements of
Yeah.
Freddie Mercury. Like he
Yeah.
went through serious training on that.
Yeah.
I was just like,
And that
But he's
that's
great.
dedication.
And I'm
Not
saying
everybody's
that
going to
he
have.
went through the body
Exactly.
movement
And-
and also speech therapy after the prosthetic
And even
teeth,
though
so he learned
Christian
how to
Bale,
speak with it.
Christian Bale was great as Dick
He
Cheney.
was
Yeah,
great.
I
but
don't think so.
I think Rami's
But
going to win.
Christian
it.
Bale's
But
a guy
Christian-
that he does that like it's his job. Like
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
does.
True. He
But
transforms
Christian
himself,
Bale
yeah.
was after the first awards. I think that was the Golden Globes.
Yeah, he won the Golden
It
Globe, yeah.
wasn't his year. They pretty
No.
much let the hype fade away. It's
And all-
It's
He's not
Rami
gonna win the
Malek's
Oscar, no,
year.
but
And,
he's-
and
I don't want it to
Slimeball
be
is kind
him.
of Christian Bale's wheelhouse. Like he plays the
He's good at-
skee-ball
Well, he
really,
made
really
it.
It wasn't
well.
acting, really.
And
Yeah.
it's kind of like, all
He
right,
said
like
that in
you're
one
just
of
showing off, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
He said
come
that
on.
in one of the acceptance speeches, didn't he? That
Yeah,
he's
he was like,
oh, give me another horrible
Thank you
person.
like, but that's also like for me as an like I would think as an actor that'd be a lot of fun to play somebody
Sure.
who has that like Dick Cheney is a very beefy character that you
Yeah.
can really sink your teeth
Kind of
into. You're going to
villainous,
play
yeah,
him. You know, if you really understand, and I don't claim to understand for a second, like the backstory to him
Yeah.
or anything
Yes.
like that, but you know, something like that, and somebody like Christian Bale. If you watched American Hustle,
Yeah.
I can't envision his portrayal of Dick Cheney being very
Yeah.
different from the character he played
a very good
in that film.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of, you know, one guy's just a rich, powerful politician.
Right.
And
There's some parallels.
Doesn't have a comb over.
So, guys, a few minutes. Who do you want to win Best Picture, or who do you think is going to win?
Well, I think there's no clear decided factor for Best Picture. It's
Yeah.
been very all over
It's
the
up
place.
in the air, kind of.
The only thing that's been equally strange is, is one other category that's been very inconsistent throughout the award season.
Is Green Book nominated
Best
for
Picture,
Best
yeah,
Picture?
yeah.
I feel like that might win.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I think Roma might win, but I kind of want Black Klansman to win too. That's out of all the nominees, that's my favorite.
Well, I think it would be really interesting, just based on our times, to have a movie like Green Book or Black Klansman win.
Yeah,
Because they
for
deal
sure.
with race.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. So we'll see. Okay, real quick, guys. Do we have anything to plug? Kaitlynn.
Still the same from last time.
Okay.
If you want to look me up, Lithia's Cosplay on Instagram. Follow me wherever you want to do. Don't matter to me.
Mm-hmm.
Still working on YouTube with Dan Shaggy GB.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just that's pretty much it right now.
Okay.
Just working now.
That's cool. Mr. Comando.
Wrestling podcast about wrestling. We'll have a baseball-themed episode coming out. I also have a baseball podcast that I need to do more of called Nick's Natscast. You can find that pretty much everywhere you find wrestling podcast about wrestling. You know, Randy came on. We talked about No Holds Barred together. That was a great episode. Me and my co-host Jazzy Justin. I'm also going to be doing stuff with Eternal Lion Studios and Vinny. We're going to be doing some shorts. We're going to start filming on that in a few months, so be on the lookout for that if you want to see me attempt to be an actor. And Instagram, Twitter, at Nick Commando, 1M. I'm not the Schwarzenegger movie, and if you have two eyes and looked at me, you can tell I never will be. So.
Okay, cool. Ericka, anything?
Oh, nothing to plug right now, but look me up on Facebook or email me, Ericka.A268@hotmail.com. I'm right now in the middle of a project that I'm not going to talk much about, so
Okay.
not free till the end of March.
Cool, very hush-hush.
But I'll be back.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime. And guys, some plugs.
Oh, stuff I gotta go to.
What? Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
No, these are plugs from Magnitude Jewelry, our wonderful and generous sponsor. March 3rd, the Spring Universal Holistic Expo at the Hilton Garden Inn, Staten Island. March 10th, we've got Mindy's Psychic Fair at Glen Cove Mansion. March 22nd to the 24th is the New Life Expo at the New Yorker Hotel in New York City. April 10th is Mindy's Psychic Fair in Plainview, Long Island. April 28th is the Awaken Fair in Tarrytown, New York. May 7th, the Psychic Fair, Plymouth, Massachusetts. May 16th, the Boom Business Expo at the Hilton Hop Hog, Long Island. And May 19th, we've got the Psychic Fair at Hampton Inn. June 19th is the Psychic Fair at Courthouse Marriott. And if you're on the Magnitude website, if you mention my show, Unger the Radar, you will get an extra discount. So please do that. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tonight. This was great. And
Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. I no longer feel bad about having a ridiculously long plug after everything you said about Magnitude.
There you go. Now you know. All right, guys, so the Oscars are in 1 hour. The official ceremony kicks off on ABC, and we're going to be, I'm going to be watching that. I don't know about you guys. Yeah.
I'll be watching.
Sounds good, sounds
and I'll
good.
be finding out what everyone wore.
Sounds good. All right, guys, well, I want to thank you again, and I want to thank everyone watching tonight, and we will see you all again next week. Take care, guys.
Unger the Radar is all new next week with more movie reviews and interviews on Strong Island radio and television. Stay tuned. We'll see you next week.